Here we go. Here we go. Another week, another live stream from your friends at Zero Dark Nerdy, the galaxy's most okayest pop culture podcast and entertainment website. Brought to you by our good friends over at Zibster. That is ZIBSTER.com for all your website needs. They're responsible for our incredibly beautiful looking website. Of course, our friends over at Golden Ticket Cinemas right here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Be sure to check them out. It's the old Brassfield Cinemas. They brought this beautiful movie theater back to life. We went to go see Beetlejuice there a couple weeks ago. Check out that live stream. So, there's going to be more to come. I think this upcoming weekend, we're either going to see The Wild Robot or Transformers 1, depending on if we want to laugh or cry. I heard great things about both. So not cry in a bad way, cry in a good way. Again, Golden Ticket Cinemas. As always, our main sponsor, Sailfish Comics. 3 locations here in North Carolina, 1 in Concord, 1 in Winston-Salem, and 1 right here in Greensboro, right across the street from Best Buy for all your graphic book, comic book, and action figure needs. To get back to it, this is your boy Brian, a.k.a. El Nino, and today I'm joined with...
Jordan. We forgot to do the poll to vote on my nickname, so for now I'm still just Jordan is my
Jordan,
nickname.
a.k.a. Jordan, and we have to do a poll so we can get her an a.k.a. So any ideas you have for a nickname, please be sure to let us know. So my daughter and I were talking. The brand new trailer for The Last of Us Season 2 came out last week, and she reached out to me and said, Dad, we got to do a video game episode, which, we do those few and far between. We don't do them often enough, unfortunately. Something we definitely want to get back to. So she's really going to be leading this conversation, but we're going to start off with, kind of first reactions on The Last of Us Part 2, and then go into, some of our favorite games, gaming consoles, horror games, things like that. Yeah. So Jordan, I'm kicking off to you.
Yeah. Well, I guess, let's start with first reactions to The Last of Us Season 2 trailer. It's going to be a ride. And I thought beforehand that I knew maybe what the game plan would be. I don't know maybe if it's been said or not that they would do half of the game 2 in one season and maybe do another half. I think so, because they already confirmed a Season 3, right?
I think so. And to me, I think it would be dumb for them to finish this in just 2 seasons. I mean,
it would be a lot.
It has been, a limited series. I thought they did a good job finishing up really the first game in season 1. But and you've played, we'll get to that in a little bit. You've played and finished Last of Us Part 2. So based on the trailers, what are your thoughts? And yes, I believe it has been confirmed for Season 3.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like they're going to, maybe cover half the season or something. They're not going to do a whole or put game 2 all in one season, because it would be a lot. There's a lot more going on in The Last of Us Part 2 than there is in the first game, as far as they introduce way more characters, way more, subplots, conflict that Ellie's having to face is not just zombies anymore to get to the hospital. It's
right.
There's a cult group called the Seraphites, and we got to see a little bit of the Seraphites in the trailer.
Is that the believe in her sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. There's a cult that you're fighting throughout the game. And then you get to see the main villain, it's very debatable. I
feel like there's going to be multiple villains.
The second game, Abby, you get to see her for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Should I not say spoil?
Because it's a trailer, let's not spoil the game.
Okay.
So so let's just try to keep it just general reactions on the trailer.
Yeah. So you get to see Abby for the first time, other main characters in the story, Dina, who ends up being it's not really a huge Ellie's love interest. I mean, you'll learn that very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Jesse, who's another partner in crime. And then you get to see Tommy and Joel again. And the only not game accurate character I've seen so far, or just not game accurate, but a character that's not in the game, is Catherine O'Hara. That's seems to be Joel's therapist or something. I don't know if
she seems to be the town psychiatrist.
Yeah, so that's not in the game, but I think, it's going to add a whole other dimension and like probably heartbreaking element to like Joel's backstory and all
Yeah.
that. And I guess if we're not spoiling anything, I can't. There's something really big. It's just going to be, it's going to be another emotional. I think it's going to be a way more ramped up ride too, just because, like I said, there's so much more going on in the second game. Like Ellie's going through hell,
Yeah.
like all forms and shapes of hell. It's just a whole other level, and I can kind of see that in this trailer. So I'm excited.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, so that's coming, so be prepared.
Yeah. So
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Ready to pop the question and take advantage of 30% off? The jewelers at BlueNile.com have got sparkle down to a science with beautiful lab-grown diamonds worthy of your most brilliant moments. Their lab-grown diamonds are independently graded and guaranteed identical to natural diamonds, and they're ready to ship to your door. Go to BlueNile.com to get 30% off select lab-grown diamonds. That's BlueNile.com for 30% off lab-grown diamonds. BlueNile.com.
I've been saving that little sound bite for a minute. I'm excited for it, and it's funny because my wife and I actually watched the trailer again. I probably watched the trailer at least 20 times since it came out, like I do most awesome trailers. And of course, HBO doesn't let us down with trailers. And she was like, and I told my daughter this, and I told Ashley this because I have The Last of Us 2, and I'm like, I'm trying to hold out and not play it. And she goes,
You should play it.
Can you just play it? So I'm going to, because I still, even though I didn't finish The Last of Us 1. So no, I can't, I can't wait. Now I have to play it. So I'm excited because you already played it, and then you can help me out.
It's good. I believe it's a longer game, or it sure does feel like it. But,
well, before I get into it, I do want to go back and play The Last of Us 1, the side missions. But first thoughts on the trailer, absolutely outstanding. It's a slow start, slow burn, and I mean, it's like a roller coaster. It's just going up, up, up. And then, you see certain elements. You see the swarm coming to attack Colorado, which looks amazing. And again, I haven't played part 2, so I can't, to me, I'm not trying to see the differences because I do appreciate HBO for what they do. And a lot of what they've done in season 1 is showcase more of the side story on some of the stuff that we didn't get in the video games.
Right.
So I'm not going to go into it like, oh my gosh, this isn't in the game. This isn't a game. Now, granted, my only gripe was the town where Ron Swanson was, his character. I wanted more Bill's town. I wanted more of the booby traps and some more of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it was a really, really nice, just side story. Plain and simple.
It was one of the best episodes in TV history. Is what happened. I mean, it sucks we didn't get to see more of Bill's town, but
right. It was, again, just one of those episodes that's
emotional.
So, on top of that, too, HBO does a great job. And I don't know if they have these actors on retainer or if they have them sign contracts, but Jeffrey Wright is back and I don't know this character, Isaac, but Jeffrey Wright is such a great actor. So let's go ahead. This is going to be a clip for us right here. This is a Jeffrey Wright appreciation clip. Yeah. I mean, I first got introduced to him when he came into Boardwalk Empire for seasons 4 and 5 as Dr. Narcisse, as one of the antagonists of both seasons. And he was just great. Then they brought him back as Bernard Lowe in Westworld, which was a phenomenal show. I never ended up finishing it. I was two seasons in, and it was just one of those things. So much TV was out at the time. I still need to get caught up. And then recently, you and I just watched him in American Fiction, and of course, he plays the Overseer as the voice. Oh my
God, yeah,
yeah, he's
a
the
great
voice
movie.
Of the Overseer. Oh, of course, in the What If Marvel series as well. So he is just a force. So Jeffrey Wright, we love you. Like, and he's in like 2 seconds of a scene, and in that scene, I'm like petrified. So I don't know his character in the game, but I have a feeling that he's going to play that character to a T.
Ready to pop the question and take advantage of 30% off? The jewelers at BlueNile.com have got sparkle down to a science with beautiful lab-grown diamonds worthy of your most brilliant moments. Their lab-grown diamonds are independently graded and guaranteed identical to natural diamonds, and they're ready to ship to your door. Go to BlueNile.com to get 30% off select lab-grown diamonds. That's BlueNile.com for 30% off lab-grown diamonds. BlueNile.com.
Yeah, I mean, he's reprising his role as Isaac. He played Isaac.
So he was the voice
game.
in the game. I did not know that. Oh, wow.
So
okay.
He'll be reprising Isaac. And for some reason, I can't remember a ton about his character. I just had to look up and remember what he did. But I don't think he's like a super menacing guy until something happens in the story. And then he it's way deeper in the plot.
He gives this one look, and it's just like someone's going to die. So
yeah, they might dig into that part of the character and make him more evil or menacing than he was in the game, which
I
just might not be remembering it clearly. But
I'm excited. I'm excited to be playing it, so that way when you're in town this weekend, hopefully I'm a little bit through it. We'll see. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I mean, they did not miss on season 1. Season 2, I think, is going to be incredible. I mean, Pedro Pascal, he's been a worker. A lot of people think that this stuff happens overnight. This guy was in everything from, I think he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a werewolf.
Yeah.
And then he had his breakout role in Game of Thrones. And then, but obviously there was tons more roles that he went through, and now he's all over the place. And you know what? Some people may complain about that, but at the end of the day, that's well deserved. So, you work your butt off to hopefully not have to audition anymore and get the jobs that you want to get. And I don't mind seeing someone that's a good actor all over the place. It's not like he's a terrible actor. So, I can't wait for Fantastic Four next year. So he's going to have another Gladiator's coming out soon.
The Wild Robot.
Oh, he's in that too?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
I think he's the voice of the fox, maybe.
There we go.
And Lupita Nyong'o is
she's the robot.
She's the robot.
Yeah, it's great. I'm just one of those people. I love seeing people come up because I know it's not overnight. Awesome. So, obviously this is a great segue to get into, The Last of Us, for those of you that may not know, is based on one of the greatest video game series of all time. I mean, there's only 2 right now. Who knows where it can go after? I haven't played the second one yet, but, PlayStation exclusive. So, Jordan, like I said, this is your episode on the video game. So take us to the promised land.
Well, I guess we can just in the vein of The Last of Us, just talk about some favorite horror games, or any kind of, story games like The Last of Us, horror games, action adventure type stuff like The Last of Us.
Okay. You want me to start?
And so you start because I'm still kind of thinking about mine.
Yeah, that's fine. So I know you mentioned horror / action strategy games, and then favorite video games, and then overall console that got you into it. So a lot of these, at least for mine, for my top 3, and these are horror / I don't want to say slasher games, because the first one is not really horror, it's stealth, which I feel
that counts.
This game,
that counts.
Yeah, it counts, because I mean it is a terrifying game. It really is, and I would love for them to remake this for the PlayStation 5. So I've talked about this. This this podcast been around for 6 years now. I've probably brought up Manhunt at least a dozen times. Manhunt on the PlayStation 2, narrated by the one and only Brian Cox, from Succession, from Super Troopers. I think he's on the McDonald's commercials now, but great voice. So pretty much you are this character. It's almost like the Running Man movie where you have a chance to survive, but you have to make it. So it's like the Running Man meets the Warriors. So you're this prisoner and then you get let out and you have to make it through all these different areas. But I feel like the way that this game takes place is where all of the Assassin's Creeds got their inspiration from. Because to me, I feel like this is the very, very first kind of stealth game where you had to be incredibly, incredibly quiet, sneaky. You got to hide in bushes and you have to murder people to get by. And you start off with basic weapons. You start off with a plastic bag to suffocate people, then a knife. Wow. Then eventually you get guns, but you have to be careful where you use the guns because if you use the guns, it attracts more noise. And then the more and more you go, the closer you get to Brian Cox's character. And I don't want to ruin it for you. They came out with a part 2 and it could not live up to the first one, which is why I believe they should never make a Warriors part 2. But it's very much the Running Man meets the Warriors. But let's just say A24 and Blumhouse directed it together. So super, super gory, great storyline, some very vicious kills and attacks on it. And it's one of those games where I was, you were just a baby when this came out. So, I was 21, 22, and I had to have like a little night light on or something. I didn't want to play this in the dark. So that's my number one. And then my number 2 and 3, and it's hard for me to go back and forth. So I literally just made them both kind of number 2. I got to say the original Resident Evil and Resident Evil Part 2. It was just groundbreaking horror video games at the time, where during that period, the only thing we really had comparable to that were first person shooters like Doom, where you're literally in hell shooting against like the legions of evil, where this required strategy. It wasn't just mowing down zombies and beasts. You had to solve puzzles and clues. And then once you get to Resident Evil 2, it really stepped it up, where the first one is almost more of an RPG, where the second one, it's definitely less RPG, more on the survival and, how to get out of Raccoon City. So in terms of, horror slash, and I mean, really Manhunt is a slasher game, in my opinion. It's not even a stealth game. Those are my top 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen Manhunt before. I'll have to check that out because it sounds fun. I love Assassin's Creed. I'm going to talk about Assassin's Creed at some point. So, and I like watching Resident Evil, but a thing about me is The Last of Us is like an exception as far as video games go to horror games. I love horror as a genre. Used to hate it as a child, like hated even watching Ghost Adventures, like scared the crap out of me. Mm-hmm. But now I love it. Especially like movies and TV. But with games, I cannot play horror games. Like I played The Last of Us 1 and 2. I don't know how, just because they're so good. Like, but there was many times I did not enjoy it. Like the anxiety horror games give me.
Yeah. You get the
emotional, damn it.
Yeah. And it's just because I'm playing it, but I can watch somebody else play it, and I have a great time watching. Mm-hmm. I love to watch people play Resident Evil or like any kind of stuff like that. Like when I was a kid, I even used to like watching PewDiePie play like Amnesia, and like there was this one game he played where you play like the devil's son and his little tricycle and like go around the house murdering the family. Oh, wow. I used to watch the games all the time. That's fine, but yeah, so it's a good list. I would watch people play those, but I don't know. I mean, I don't have a top 3 that's like specifically horror, but I love The Last of Us 2 is my like one of my favorite games. It's in my top 3 generally, and obviously, so that means it's like my favorite horror game. And I love Until Dawn. That was another game I managed to play somehow. Lots of jump scare crap and like just there's Wendigos and there's like a well, I was gonna say clown killer, but you get to kind of pick the mask that the killer wears. Okay. It's a butterfly effect game, so the choices you make affect the rest of the story.
Right.
And so there's like a psychologist throughout the whole game who, in certain points of the game, is like interviewing you, and you don't know who you are. Like you don't know who he's interviewing, so you don't know which character you are because there's like 6 or 7 people in the house. Mm-hmm. And so he asks, like, what are your biggest fears? And then he'll show you, like, 4 pictures. And it's, like, clowns, spiders, blah, 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 blah. And you pick. And so the killer's, like, based off whatever you pick. And the whole game is kind of like that. Like, even when you're, like, running through the woods, like, jumping over stuff, running from a Wendigo, like, you have to hit X at the right time, hit square, hit circle at the right time. Because if you miss, then your foot slips off the mountain and you die. Like, and so the goal of that game is to get everybody in the house out alive, stay alive until dawn. And it's really hard to keep everybody in the house alive because that means you're not making any mistakes throughout the whole game.
So it's like your typical horror movie.
Yeah. Like, I don't remember how many I got out with. It definitely wasn't all of them. It might have been 3 or 4 people left, but I definitely killed some people off by accident. But it's a really fun game, and they're making that into a show. Okay. I'll say my top 3 games just generally. The Last of Us 2 is one. I don't need to talk about that anymore, really. Just a great, great game. Great story. Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is another one of my top 3 favorite games. I love Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is definitely like an honorable mention for me.
I remember getting you that.
Yeah. They're just so fun. I just love that kind of game. Like, I guess it is an RPG game where you collect resources.
But you still gotta do
have
a
to be
lot,
stealthy, kill certain people.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a story.
RPG.
There's a story, but yeah, you gotta do, kind of build up your village at the same time while you're going through like the campaign of the story. And I just like it's a really pretty world as well, like on all the different like biomes and locations. It's just, and I like history too, so it's cool. Yeah. They always have a very historical element. Yeah. So it's just a good game, and I just had so much fun playing Valhalla, and that's really why it's in the top 3. My friend Leah and I, that was just like one of my best college memories. It's just we'd play that constantly playing. Mm-hmm. And the Assassin's Creed games have infinite amount of side quests, so there's always something to do. Like you could do other than the main like storyline. There's so much stuff you could do. So and then number 3 is just like a right now thing. I don't know how long it will last, but it's Overwatch. Okay. That's kind of cringy. I know.
It's not cringy.
It's just like the only game I want to play right now.
Right.
It's just a shooter game, like all these different heroes, and I like it because you have to learn every hero or every healer or every tank. Like you have to learn because each character does different things. Like they're not just all shooting guns. There's like all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it's a very overwhelming game to play for your first time because the sounds and like the different heroes all have way different powers and stuff. It's a lot to like get committed to, but once you are committed, it's like you're addicted. And so I'm addicted to that.
Okay.
So I love Overwatch right now. It's just fun. So those are my top 3 right now. Valhalla,
as long as you're having fun.
Overwatch.
As long as you're having fun. If I
were to rage really bad too, though.
Oh yeah, I mean most games you love do.
I'll just say this: I bought a $10 USB keyboard off of Amazon just so I can trash talk to the other people on the game. I plugged it into my PlayStation just because you would not believe the way people behave on this game.
I mean, I'm sure it's like most.
But I'm in it now.
There you go.
I'm just in it.
Okay, well, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, as far as right now, I am a huge fan, and so is Ashley. And I mean, you've played them too. I think the Spider-Man games on the PlayStation 4, and especially PlayStation 5, are outstanding. The storyline's great. I mean, these things by themselves could be standalone MCU movies. The way they incorporate Kraven the Hunter, Rhino, and just I mean, being able to incorporate Miles Morales and then Venom and everything else too. So as far as right now, those are games that I really enjoy and love to play, and I can just kind of pick up. You know, you can just kind of same thing. You can go on your main missions. You can go on your side quests.
Right.
Sometimes you have other side quests that are way too hard because you haven't powered up enough. So, but it's still cool to be able to just sling around New York City too, and be able to just kind of like compare some locations to the historic locations. Because sometimes that's all I want to do is just kind of swing around New York.
Right.
Maybe just prevent
that's how
like somebody getting mugged.
Like, that's how I feel about Assassin's Creed, because you can just like parkour like off the buildings the whole time if you want, and just go around doing just dumb stuff.
Parkour.
Yeah.
You have to put that clip in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, same thing. And that's why I really like Spider-Man too, because you can do the main missions, but you can do side missions all day long. And the graphics are great. Like I said, the story's great. It's just phenomenal.
It's a fun game.
Super, super fun. In terms of, I guess, 3 of my favorite all-time games. Now, I couldn't narrow it to 3. I narrowed it to like 5 that made me feel something. And I'll just kind of go by quick. You know, besides, and I came up, you know, Nintendo, like I played Atari because it was my dad's original Atari, and I came up Nintendo and everything else, but I'm going off of just kind of like young adult to adult-ish games that just sucked me in, and I was there. First and foremost, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, when that came out, I would leave my job, and I had the best job on the planet for an 18 to 19-year-old. I worked at a record store, a CD store, music store. So on my lunch breaks, I would go home, play Tony Hawk for as long as I could, and go back to work, and then go back home after work and play Tony Hawk all day long. The soundtrack was great. I've always enjoyed skateboarding. I was never great at it. So it was just awesome to be able to do that. And then honorable mention, SSX Tricky is what got me into snowboarding. Super, super fun game. This game came out right around the same time you were born. Again, 2 PlayStation 2 classics. So we'll go from there. Then I got to go. So I did kind of break this down. So I do have like my top 3, and then I'll go into the other 2. So then I got to go Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It's pretty much Scarface, the video game. You know, it takes place in Miami.
Yeah.
One of the final scenes pretty much takes place in Tony's mansion. But, you know, following off of Grand Theft Auto 3, which was just a landmark game for the PlayStation 2. I mean, this was, I think, the first time to where we legit had like a super rated R video game. I mean, you're going around the first 2 Grand Theft Autos. It was just an above cam shot of just kind of cars going everywhere, and you're committing crimes, but you're not seeing stuff. So this is the first time where you're like seeing a player get out of a car, make robberies, you know, drive people around, kill people,
run over pedestrians.
Yep. Have a extracurricular. Yep. Go to the strip club. Take a lady of the night to the side street. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So, you know, going from that and then going back to the 80s, and I'll never forget it. It's still one of my favorite commercials with Flock of Seagulls. I ran so far away, and it was the Grand Theft Auto Vice City theme. And it just had just those Tony Montana, you know, 80s vibes. So there's that one. And then this one is really a tie for third. So like I said, I really had 5, but I'm going to explain a little bit here in a minute. So tied for third, I'm a big fan of just like action games in general, to where I don't have to solve anything. It's more just like you're collecting weapons, you're building up, you're learning stuff, you have to defend. And 2 of my favorites, again, PlayStation 2 classics, God of War, the original God of War, and Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry was super, super unique. You play this hero named Dante. You have these 2 awesome guns and this big-ass sword. And it has a lot of Final Fantasy vibes, but it's not a role-playing game. So, and of course, God of War, I'm a big fan of just Greek mythology and mythology in general. So it was just great to just kind of see Ares and all that stuff going up against Kratos. And then, of course, the series after that was great. Then now you have God of War now on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and they're just absolutely tremendous visuals. The storyline's great. It's fantastic. Now, as far as I know, one of your questions was what console made me... So what console made me the gamer that I am today? I will definitely say it was the PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 1 was great. Don't get me wrong, but the PlayStation 2, I feel just at that point, you had a lot more video game companies coming out, a lot more product, and they were pushing boundaries where your Segas weren't, your Nintendos weren't. Sony was like, we don't care. Bring it on. If it's rated R, we'll slap a parental advisory sticker on it or put, mature sticker on it. Like, I feel like they were really one of the first ones, and I could be wrong, that had mature stickers on or mature labels on their video games because they weren't just Nintendo, just this. And
I'm sure Xbox did too, just because Call of Duty's just always been like cross-platform, right?
It was, but again, PlayStation 2, I mean, the original Xbox, let's be honest, the main thing they had going for them was Halo. And that's the main thing. Like, that's their only exclusive that's worth a damn, if we're being honest. I mean, if you compare PlayStation exclusives to Xbox exclusives, it's not even close.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's literally like Halo, and then you're going like Spider-Man, Last of Us. I think God of War is even a PlayStation
I'm pretty
exclusive.
sure God of War.
You know what I mean? Just those three alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's more down there. But I will say the game that made me an online player is the first, not the first Call of Duty, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the Xbox 360.
Or no, the first Modern Warfare?
The first Modern Warfare. The first one that came out. So big shout outs to my buddy Mark Powers. I played it at his place. It was a UFC night. And at that point, I only had a PlayStation 2. I didn't have an original Xbox. I played it at like friends' places, and I was like, I don't like the controller. It's too big. I don't like Halo. And then they were playing Modern Warfare, and I was like, this is amazing. And literally the next day, I went out to Best Buy, got an Xbox 360, Modern Warfare, everything for me to like get online. And that was the one game where I was on there. I was online after work, being a bartender, before work, being a bartender. I was playing online and trying to get ranked up over and over again. Yeah. So the Xbox 360 and Call of Duty made me an online gamer.
Made me as a gamer. I have to say Xbox 360, just because I did not have I didn't have PlayStation until, I don't know, maybe I was 17-ish. 17, 18. No, I didn't have anything before the PS4.
Oh, crap.
Mm-mm. So I just had the 360, but I loved it. I loved the 360 when I had it. I played, I remember there's a game called Fable 3. It's like a role RPG kind of game, like you're a knight or something, like, I don't know. And Borderlands 3 I'd play, great game. So I have to say the Xbox 360. I used to play that Tony Hawk game too, but that had the board that came with it.
I remember. Yeah, Ride.
That was that
Tony
game.
Hawk Ride. Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
I think
Rock
that
Band.
was on. We had that for the Wii. The Wii is another one that.
The Wii is definitely an honorable mention. I mean, that shit was revolutionary. Yeah.
That's
my childhood. It's still revolutionary.
That's all my friends' childhood who are gamers, or like that's every family's, or just any people my age. That probably was their childhood if their family was into like games.
Yeah,
because I mean they had Wii Sports Resort, Mario Super Sluggers, Mario Tennis, like just every Mario Super Mario Galaxy Party or there's Super Mario Galaxy, and then there was Mario Party.
Then the golf games, the sports games were great.
Bowling, like it was just, it's still the most fun time. Like I don't really understand why they're like not making them anymore, because they're so much fun. They have something that like still these other consoles don't have. Yeah, like even the Xbox 360 Kinect, which was another part of my childhood, very fun. Fruit Ninja, and that like their version of Wii Sports Resort. Don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But that got discontinued because like there was like that was all people were playing were those two games.
Yeah. It was just Fruit Ninja. We played it constantly.
Yeah. The Wii though, I mean, I had mine out when B was here last time, and we went to a comic book store here called Player's Choice, and they have like Wii games and stuff, and she bought Littlest Pet Shop or something because that was her jam when she was little. but I bought Modern Warfare 2 for the Wii. Terrible choice. That's probably the one game you should never get for the Wii.
I'm sure.
I bought like the $13. They had like a gun attachment.
Yeah.
The most difficult thing I've experienced in a long time as far as video
I have
games
House of the
goes.
Dead for the
It's
Wii.
impossible.
It's not great.
It's impossible to play a shooter game on the Wii. Like, and it looked, I wish I should have taken a video of how it looked too. It was terrible, but the Wii is awesome, and I will never get rid of my Wii ever.
Yeah. And honestly, it's going to be one of those things to where it's going to be worth a fortune, and I mean, I still have ours.
Yeah.
I just got to get new remotes because the remotes are, for some reason, batteries, when they stay in the Wii remotes compared to other remote controls, like they will melt. So, I'm sure too, it's probably been in, even though it's not in the attic anymore, the Wii has been in a few attics since you and I do remember one video, where I think it was AJ taking it behind us, and you were like maybe 12 or 13, and we were playing Fruit Ninja on the Wii Connect. And yeah, you're right. That was the only good game on the Wii Connect. The rest of them were suspect.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the Wii could be a whole episode too. Wii Sports. All you need is Wii Sports. That's it, and then you have fun for hours.
Excellent.
I would play that.
Good job hosting. Love it. Hold on 1 second here. Nope. There it is. I'm gonna get it right. There we go. I know. I got to get rid of the buzzer because I'm never gonna use it. So I mean, I've used it a couple times, but again. There you go. You get the claps and all that stuff. Thank you so much for hosting, Jordan. Hang out with me for just a little bit. Again, big shout outs to our sponsors out there. Sailfish Comics, 3 locations in North Carolina, Winston-Salem, Concord, and of course, Greensboro. And don't forget to also check out Golden Ticket Cinemas in Brassfield Shopping Center, the former Brassfield Cinemas, for all your moving going needs. And come on the website, popculturepodcast.com. Be sure to check out our event page. We have multiple movie nights, or not just movie nights, trivia nights and music bingos. And again, we're starting this Thursday in Whitsett with our good friends over at Red Oak, starting at 6:30. So, on behalf of Jordan and myself and everyone from Zero Dark Nerdy, thank you so much for your love and support. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah! Victory!
And anger management?
Fuck anger management.